The following report, we have to thank Chris Schreckengost for doing the general research. The following information comes directly from the United States Postal Service. The United States Postal Service was written and faxed to us by General Purpose U.S. Services Smart Card, U.S. Card, written by C.R. Chamberlain, United States Postal Service, March 1994. We have had this in our hands for a long time. We have many documents in our hands for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. However, we must duplicate the original research before we can ever use it. We have received what we have been waiting for. This consists of introduction, requirements of the citizen and the government, the design of the smart card, onboard functions, supporting infrastructure, a summary, operations, acquiring and activating the U.S. card, granting limited access to others, maintaining application support data, transaction audit trail, card replacement, and a conclusion. The introduction. The paper describes a proposed set of functions for a general-purpose government services smart card that the author believes builds upon several initiatives already underway. The initiatives include the recertification of DES, a proposed public key infrastructure for managing public key certificates, government agencies exploring the use of attribute certificates, initial X500 systems being built by government and private sector, emerging requirements for a health care card and for an electronic benefits transfer EBT card, adoption of a digital signature standard, and a need to reinvent the delivery of government services around such themes as one-stop shopping. The smart card is a personal interface tool to national information infrastructure applications, enhances a person's control of their data. Digital security technologies such as public key cryptography and digital signatures are used to secure the integrity of the smart card and its infrastructure. The smart card, with an infrastructure that is directory services, user certificates, public access terminals, personal identification numbers, and upfront issuance identification authentication, coupled with the smart card's onboard features, provides a system for personal transactions, absolute personal identification, transactions that businesses, the government, and the individual can rely upon for privacy and integrity. The cashless society is upon us. Requirements. Each party to smart card usage, including businesses and foreign governments, will bring their own set of requirements, but those of domestic United States government organizations and citizens are briefly addressed here. Citizen. Increasingly, the use of electronic transactions enabled by the smart card will be paperless and subject to electronic remote snooping. In order to protect the citizen and to not unreasonably complicate life, the U.S. Services Smart Card needs to support 1. Privacy. Assurance exists that parties not approved for accessing data on the card cannot access information. Additional assurances are needed that unintended secondary uses of the information generated through the use of the U.S. card are not allowed. Information may need to be generally available to a functional area, industry, basic health care data for emergency care, or to a subset of an industry, detailed health test results to doctors, but that information should not flow readily across functional boundaries, health test results to bankers or prospective employers. Integrity. Assurances that the data is accurate cannot be altered accidentally or through unauthorized access. Intuitive operations. The use of the card follows a logical sequence able to be performed without training. Personalized interaction, ability to support English as well as a different language of preference. Where literacy is a problem, the U.S. card data should be machine readable and machine spoken in the language of preference. No cost. The U.S. card is part of the government's infrastructure and there should be no direct cost to the citizen. However, a family of value-added services may be enabled by the U.S. card that might carry transaction fees such as ordering government publications. Replacements. The U.S. card must be able to be rapidly replaced if lost, stolen, or damaged. and once a good number of them have been lost, stolen, or damaged repeatedly, that will be the new excuse used to go to a microchip implant. Auditability. Transactional uses must be logged and reviewable to enable review of disputed transactions or just to facilitate record keeping. This chronological log must be under the control of the U.S. card holder and not available to any organization without the holder's permission to prevent use of the log for surveillance purposes. Ha, ha, ha. One card, a single card rather than several cards, simplifies the carrying the card and always having the right card for interacting with the government, for it will be the only card and the only money and the only requirement for transactions. From the government, integrity, assurance that the data is accurate, cannot be altered accidentally or through unauthorized access. User authentication and transaction repudiation, assurance of the identity of someone doing business with the government and the ability to enforce the validity of a transaction after its completion. These qualities help prevent fraud. Intuitive operations. The use of the card follows a logical sequence able to be performed without training. Cost performance. The cost of providing the U.S. card must be no more than a few dollars per citizen per year, with costs recoverable through re-engineering services to much lower total service delivery costs enabled by the U.S. card and its infrastructure. Improved service to citizens. Easy to use 24-hour service, electronic access to government services. Single face to citizens, one card, consolidated operations to lower costs and maintain an ease of use. Expandable for new uses, existing or upgradable capacity to handle new applications or increased functionality. International acceptance. A standard U.S. card that can be used by U.S. citizens overseas and interoperable with similar foreign systems where advantageous. The New World Economic Order is here. You have been being brainwashed for years. Remember? AT&T, one world, one card. Are you there? Again, ladies and gentlemen, I was right. For this was all outlined in my book, Behold a Pale Horse, years ago. Everything that is coming out now, I wrote in my book years ago, and I was called a lunatic, conspiracy freak, liar. I was shunned. I could not practice my profession anymore. My family and I were literally relegated to the gutter. Well, we have climbed back out, and time has proven that I, over all others, have been right. I do not take much pride in that, for it means that being right is the death knell for this nation. And I could go on and on and on and on and on, ladies and gentlemen, because there are pages and pages and pages of this, all official documents from the United States Postal Service. If you would like to have a copy, send us. Well, I'd better wait and count these pages first. I'll tell you what. You send us $13, we'll send you this document postpaid. A full copy. No, I'm not going to do that. Send us $15 and we'll send you this document postpaid. All the pages, all of it. And the reason I'm going to ask for $15 is because a portion of the money that we get after we have paid the postal and shipping costs will be sent to Chris Schreckengoss, who did the original research work on this. The New World Order is upon us. Washington, D.C. is full of traitors working treason against us. There is no constitutional government in place. The Constitution, in fact, is not in place. You can still work constitutional law if you're one of the few lucky ones who know how to use it in a court. But how much longer they're going to allow us to do this, I do not know. I do not know, ladies and gentlemen, therefore cannot make any predictions about when to lock and load and get ready to rock and roll, as we used to say in Vietnam. But that time is not far off, and if you've been vacillating, you had better either form or join an existing militia unit, and you had better get ready to fight for your freedom. For the time is not far off when that is exactly what you are going to be required to do, or you are going to be a slave in the New World Order, one world, using one card, working where you're told, and if you dare to be politically incorrect, your account will be zeroed out. You see, with a cashless society comes absolute and total control. I've been telling you for years, the slavery will not be behind barbed wire. It will be slavery in a system of cashless debt shackled to a computer. And the way that they will keep you imprisoned is as long as you are a trustworthy, politically correct, New World Order person, your account will be good wherever you go. If, on the other hand, you say something that the establishment does not like to hear, they can render your account inoperable except in one grocery store, at one place of work, on only one public conveyance, and if you really got snotty, why, they could just slap you down and zero out your account forever. And of course, no one would help you, for if they did, they would face the same punishment. We are on the verge of going backward in our history from the penultimate success of all humans who have lived upon this earth, which culminated in the writing of the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, based upon that wonderful document that originally set us free, the Declaration of Independence, and for the first time in the history of the world, gave men real freedom. And you are about to lose it all and go backwards into a state of slavery where you will be owned just as sure as you think you own your automobile. And where they will control every single moment of your life from birth till death. Good night. May God save this republic. May God bless you, and may God have mercy on our souls.